Hey, Big Brother fans. All right, we've got your live feed spoilers update on who won week 9 head of household. The comp played out after Quinn was evicted on a 4-2 vote, and the live feeds went down for close to 20 hours. If you had been checking them periodically, you were probably quite frustrated. We all were. So also just check out this pic of Jerry O'Connell holding Quinn like a little baby boy post-eviction. How cute is that? You know, I cannot imagine Julie Chen ever doing that, even if she had the muscles to pick up a house guest. I thought Jerry did a good job. I saw a lot of people talking about how they wish they'd brought in a BB alum to host the live eviction in Julie's absence. But the thing is, Jerry is a friend of hers. Julie is on the talk pretty regularly. And Jerry thinks fast on the fly because he's on a live show 5 days a week. They couldn't have somebody that didn't have that kind of TV experience because they might freeze up. And it was kind of cute how much he was trying to host while still being a fanboy. I thought he was great. And of course, Julie is back in week 9. So remember, we heard about that new Ainsley twist. She's gone off to see the world and leaving somebody else in charge, a junior sort of AI. Ainsley said he arrived soon and they would enjoy his company. And the house guests were immediately wondering if it's Zingbot because it's almost that time of the season. But if you recall, the description given out was he was a junior artificial neurokinetic intelligence entity. That was your big hint. And I think Makensy figured it out. The first letters of it all spells out Jankie. And that's what type of endurance comp it was. Pretty janky. So overnight and even into this morning, Big Brother fans were increasingly frustrated with the lack of live feeds coverage. And, you know, in this season already, production likes to yank the feeds away just when things get good and show us dumb stuff like one person alone making coffee. You know, it is frustrating. Here's what we missed and what you're going to see on this Sunday's edited CBS episode. The endurance comp of Jankie's dance party. Now, they showed this when the live feeds came up. So if I have to guess, looking at that, I think it was a dance till you drop endurance comp. And since the house guests have been singing and dancing and doing little improv talent shows all over the place, they were probably excited, thought it was going to be fun for a minute. Remember in the movie Hocus Pocus when the witches bespelled the parents to dance till they died or dropped, whatever it was? I feel like it's that kind of vibe. And one very salty house guest outdanced them all and now can get herself a little boogie-woogie revenge on the ones that upset her last week and ousted her final 2 guys. So the feeds came back up this morning about 9-ish BB time, and it was the best case scenario for Quinn Leah stans because Leah Peters is the week 9 head of household. Is she going to lash out and take revenge on those who targeted her crush Quinn? And she finally did admit it. I know some people think it was fake. I don't think so. I just think he had 2 months to wear down her defenses and show her how charming he is. And Chelsea said he's one of the best guys she's ever met. Makensy said she'd marry him. Hell, Cam said he'd marry him. So I just think she had to get past the nerdy exterior to the juicy center. And, you know, he's won her over. So it's cute. So this morning, there was really no nomination talk when the feeds came down because they were exhausted, absolutely exhausted. With the feeds down 20 hours, I mean, there's no telling how long this went on. The pressure cooker last season, I think, was the longest comp ever, and it was over 14 hours. So again, Jankie's dance party, I'm assuming it was a dance off to win the HoH key. Not only that, but the BB26 house seems to be closed to house guests right now because when the feeds came back up, they were all out in the yard and it had a very Dire Fest feel to it. There's camp cots everywhere. Leah even got her HoH basket out in the backyard before everybody just crashed. And one thing to note from the shot of Leah and her basket is that T-Core looks not too happy, but Angela is all smiles. I bet since she and Leah smoothed things over before the live eviction last night that she's feeling pretty smug and safe. Right now, all the house guests are conked out, exhausted. You can see on the feeds that Cam's on his back, Angela with her ever-present denim shirt over her face, Chelsea's face down snoozing. Bizarrely, Makensy is lying face up into the bright LA sun. Leah told everybody she'd sleep for a few hours, then whoever was up could start off her one-on-ones before she makes nominations today. T-Core was up briefly. I wonder if they have porta potties off in the corner of the yard for them. We'll see. The feeds aren't giving us shots of the whole yard. A few glimpses here and there, but right now they're mostly focused on snoring house guests. And yes, despite the overnight exhaustive comp, they are still going to make nominations today in the Big Brother house. And, you know, it might be later this afternoon, early evening, depending on how long Big Brother lets them sleep. Also on the feeds, there's sort of a carnival game set, one of those knock 'em down games. So I wonder one of two things with that, if they're getting to practice ahead of time, like they did in BB18, Nicole and Corey. They had a modified version of the veto comp, I think, that they were getting to practice with. But maybe it was something for the house guests to do once they were eliminated from the dance party. You know, we'll find out more once they wake up and start talking. But for now, not even the low-flying, loud as hell airplanes are waking up these house guests. They are out cold. So as a reminder, you know, Chelsea put Quinn on the block, and then T-Core, Rubina, Makensy, and Cam voted to evict him. Leah and Angela voted to evict Chemo. Safe to say Angela should not see the block this week. It'd be pretty awkward for Quinn to wait a week alone in jury house only to have Angela show up. So I would expect Leah might nominate Chelsea because Quinn went out on her HoH, but the smarter move is to nominate T-Core and Rubina with Chemo as a renom option, or some version of that. Two of the power trio on the block with the third as a renom option. And then the worst case scenario would be that the one of the trio off the block wins power of veto and takes down one of the two. So 2 of 3 would be safe. But that would still leave one of the power trio on the block on live eviction night next Thursday. And of course, the best case scenario would be for none of the power trio to win and the rest of the house to realize that they shouldn't use the veto this week. We'll see. If Leah doesn't take aim at the threesome, they're going to run out the rest of the game, given how low the house guest count is at this point. So be sure to check back soon. I'm sure Big Brother won't let them sleep too long, but it may be much later today before noms are made. And we will bring you that once they are official. So stay tuned.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.